And final year students of public senior high schools in the country are currently writing the West African Senior High School Certificate Examination, that's a WASSCE. In the past year, there were reported cases of leaked exam papers and examination malpractices leading to the cancellation of some of the subjects. The West African Examination Council, WAEC, has assured that adequate safeguards have been put in place to prevent any further leakages. I will be joined later on in the studio to pick the thoughts of the National Council for the Parent-Teacher Association to discuss the need to promote incident-free examination. So we want to pick a few thoughts on how WAEC examinations have been conducted in the last few years. You would recall that not only for the senior high level, but also for the secondary school level, they had cases where students had the questions, some via WhatsApp, some via text messages, and then solved them. And what we were told later by WAEC was that they did not sanction that, and the people who were involved have been arrested. It is not the first time, certainly not the second time. It's been up and have seen some consistency over the years. But what we have per information we have been able to glean for you is that for 2015, a total of 268,812 pupils sat for the exams, and out of that number, 453 candidates had their entire results cancelled, and some of the candidates had some of their papers cancelled, and that is a total of 1,859. Other information is that for 2016, we are doing a comparative analysis of 2015 and 2016. For 2016, the total number was 274,262, and those that had their entire results cancelled was 598. As compared to those who had some of their results cancelled, some, not all, some of their results cancelled was 1,576. And so going further, those are the two key things that we know, 2015, 2016, but that is for secondary school. For the basic schools, they also have had their own challenges, but for what's happening in the secondary level, as they start today, what are some of the concerns that these pupils themselves have? Would swing straight to the Ashanti region, where William Evans Inkum has visited some of the schools and would be giving us an update of what's happening there. Also later in our bulletins, we have toured a number of the schools here in Accra to find out how the first day of the exam is going. Final year students of the various secondary schools across the country have begun the WASSCE. Now, the first part of the first paper they will be writing is the elective maths paper, and we are told that that has ended.
All right, so we are coming to you live from the Kumasi Wesley Girls Senior High School. As you know, the WASSCE has just started, and not long ago they finished with the elective maths. I will be speaking to the headmistress of the school to find out how the whole exercise has been. I'll also be speaking to some of the students to find out from them how the exams went. Let me speak to you. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
How did it go?
Oh, it went very cool. It was okay.
So you are promising mommy and daddy that you're going to get A?
Yes.
All right. Were you scared initially?
Yeah, when we were about to start the exams, I was scared a little bit, but when we were moving on, I was okay.
All right, so what paper did you write today?
Elective maths.
Elective maths, okay, all the best. All right, so we just spoke to her. Well, let's also speak to another lady here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, how did it go?
Oh, it was okay. Provided you sat down to study very well, you could do it.
How was invigilation?
Oh, it was very due as expected of them. No student was allowed to cheat in the exam hall, and then honestly, kudos to them.
All right, so let's speak to the headmistress of Wesley Girls Senior High School. Mommy, you join me here. Yes. How was your exercise?
You see, when the students start exams, you look at their comportments and you know they can manage. When the whole place is quiet, then you know they are making a headway. So generally, as the two students said, the paper was manageable, and I expect that they do well.
I think the major setback has been the fact that sometimes you prepare your student for examination And then after the marking, WASSCE comes out to say that there were some more practice, and for that matter, the whole examination has been cancelled. As a head mistress of this school, have you ever had that experience as far as your school is concerned?
Yes, once or twice. Even before I came here, papers are cancelled and students are given about 2 weeks to rewrite. And that has been a problem because the children get traumatized. The next paper could be difficult. So what do? They are not sure of themselves. And I think that is why everybody now thinks the issue of examination malpractice should be tackled headlong so that we spare the students that trauma of having to rewrite the exams.
So I'm sure something might have caused that particular thing. What really happened? What really caused the cancellation of that paper in those days?
Years back, the students had foreknowledge of papers, and I think it was quite huge, you see, so they couldn't gloss over it. Before WASSCE cancels a paper, it means the deciders to give them workshop. You know, these are girls, and when it comes to mathematics and science, there is that some fear. So we educate them, take the fear out of them, and then encourage them.
And how many students are writing this year's examination?
In all, we registered 845, and 401 are taking the e-maths. 401 students comprising 3 arts classes, 1 business class, and the science, some science students. In fact, visual arts students, you have some of them writing e-maths.
All right, thanks so much. So now, as you can see from here, they did finish with the examination. The first part of the examination, they are sorting out the papers. We are told that the next part of the examination will begin somewhere around 1 p.m. So from the WASSCE Girls Senior High School, my name is William Evans Inkum. Over to you, studios.
All right, thank you very much, William Evans Inkum, TV3's Ashanti Regional Correspondent. And we'll stay with that subject matter a while longer because we know that this year the WASSCE examination has begun, as we just mentioned. And that's what's happening in the Ashanti region. Later, we'll bring you a picture of how the entire country, the exam process went in the entire country. But in studio with us this afternoon is Mr. Alexander Yaudam. So he's the president for the National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations, and we're going to be discussing this issue to see what role parents can also play in ensuring that they complement the effort of teachers in the classrooms, so the student or the pupil is the winner at the end of the day. It's supposed to be a win-win situation for the school and the parents and the pupil as well. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, to start with, what are your initial thoughts on the fact that there seemed to be a blame game, you know, every now and then? In 2015, I beg your pardon, the number of people who had their entire papers cancelled were in excess of about 598. Yeah. And then in 2015, that number was actually lesser. So it means that instead of situation getting better, it seemed to have worsened. When parents, you hear some of these things, how does that hit you?
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners. Let me first take this opportunity to wish our condolences to the bereaved families of the children who lost their lives at the Kentampo. You know, it's just unfortunate that these little ones should lose their lives through this tragic incident. It's unfortunate, but the Lord gives and the Lord takes. So we ask the Lord to keep them in His bosom. We wish the community of the Wenchi Senior High School community and that of the Institute of Renewable Natural Resources, their communities, our deepest condolences.
Thank you.
And then coming back to the question, when we hear of the failure of our wards, you know, it pains us much because parents have always been at the receiving end, you know, when it comes to whatever it can, whether good or bad. But the problem is that we wouldn't stop apportioning blame on
Teachers.
Not only the teachers, but the government. Because the government is not supplying the needed textbooks. And so you realize that students are relying much on the teachers' notes. And if you get a teacher who is lazy, just gets the outcome. Those who are sitting for their WASSCE exams, since they entered the senior high school 1, that is a Form 1, they haven't received any textbooks. You say
those who are currently writing.
Who are currently writing? Because as far as I know, the first year they were not given anything. Second year they were not given any books by the previous government. And they were saying they were doing a lot, they have done a lot for the school. They are not having the necessary textbooks.
But then it is not just, yes, the textbook is a very relevant part of the learning process. But apart from just the textbook, do you not think that the teachers have done enough to give them the knowledge required to pass the exams?
Yeah, they have given it, and that, how do you know? What I'm saying is that they are dealing with syllabus, and they go by the syllabus. And if they keep on changing the syllabus, so if, say this year, last year, they dealt with, an issue concerning the head, and today, this year, they are dealing with the issue concerning the fingers. Definitely, there will be some disparity. So if they have to get the necessary books to correspond with, what they are teaching.
Does that not then broaden the debate to what the country should agree on as the syllabus for secondary education?
That is why, thank you very much, that is why the Ministry of Education and that of the Ghana Education Service should have a stakeholders meeting to discuss the way forward, because education in Ghana has gone down. You talked of parents, students failing in 2015. For the past, I think 5 or 3 years, 1,500 students sat for the WASSCE. Only 400 plus passed. What has happened to the 1 million something? They are just, and parents are the receiving end. Whether they pass or not, they come back to the house. The government has finished its job. The teachers have finished their jobs.
Let's look at the exam itself and the failures. Apart from the unavailability of textbooks and maybe low tuition and all of that, some pupils have engaged in malpractices, leading to the cancellation of these papers. The WAEC has been blamed seriously for this, and some parents as well. WAEC says that it has put in place some measures and mechanisms to drastically reduce this or prevent it totally. What kind of contribution do you think parents can make in this regard to ensure that the wards go to the exam hall fully prepared and to write the paper with no skirmishes?
Yeah. The West African examination can keep on saying that they have done enough, they have put in measures. But their personnel have been always arrested. But where does it come from? The leakage comes from them. You see, as I sit with you here, how do I know? How can I get papers? Unless you have corrections over there. And their personnel have been using, leaking out papers. What we have to do is that we have to contribute. The parents have to complement the efforts of the government by way of, helping our students to pass. Honestly, if the child is taught well, why should he go for APO? As they normally say.
The natural tendency of APO has leaked. You would also want to be in the known of what, so you don't go and then you said I told
well, when you are taught, when you have studied, when you have learned well, I don't think there will be the need for you to go for yes. So definitely, if they are taught well, if the students are also able to learn exactly what they have been taught, I don't think there will be need for this. But all in all, I think there must be a stakeholders meeting to see the way forward. And
unfortunately, news we are also getting indicate that somewhere in the Kwewu East District, some schools they have been closed down due to the activities of Fulani headsmen, which has affected education. And as Parent-Teacher Association, on a national scale, how can we address this? Because it's affecting even those who are going to be writing papers today.
Thank you very much. You see, when we hear of said things, and I keep on saying that the parents always suffer. But this is a national issue. The national security should come in. The RESEC, that's the Ashanti Regional Security, they have to come in. And the community also have to come in. But you realize that this Fulani issue, it is not the Fulanis. So you realize that the politicians have their cattle there, the community, the chiefs, and all that. And so we have to tackle it from the, or the national point of view. Otherwise, yes, our children are suffering. Now, I don't know the measure they put in place. the regional director, the district director will be able to tell exactly what to do. We were telling them that at least, you know, in our communities, in the villages, the chief's palace is old enough to at least, you know, accommodate the final year students, you know, so that the teachers will be, for security reasons. Okay. But if it hasn't been done, then definitely we will have to find a way to, you know, when it comes to exactly.
Okay. In our subsequent bulletins, we'll bring you the other opinions that the Parent-Teacher Association have to share about why those who are writing now have to pay their fees in full before, or some other information that we are getting which is a little murky. We'll sort all of that out and let you know in our subsequent bulletins. Well, we've been speaking with Alexander Yaudan, so he's the president for the National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.